Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Addicted to Fishing and I'm John. Hopefully this time I can get through the video. Unfortunately my sensor on my arm has stopped reading. I've closed the app out and it keeps coming back telling me that my glucose isn't being measured. But anyway, this was a subscriber question wanting to know what's garbage, what I should avoid, things along that line. I'm not going to blast on any particular company out there. But what I generally do as a rule of thumb is I will roll the dice on something and see how it goes. Prime example of that, even though it was just a buck, these Ozark Trail soft plastics, I'll fish them, see how they hold up. Depending on the performance I get out of them or the response back I get from the bait, the action, so forth and so on. I'm not worried about if I go tomorrow and I could just go to just a lake with no fish in it. I don't even care if I get a bite. I'm looking for what the action is out of the bait, and then of course, once I start catching fish on them, how they hold up, how they work. But there's not really a definitive answer to that. A word of caution is a lot of the people are turning to Temu and AliExpress to order hard baits and things that are half the price. And I tread real careful with that. I've ordered from there, and I'm not concerned about ordering stuff from there as far as whether you're going to get it or not. It's just the general quality that you're going to get. A brand that I've fished, and I'm just putting them out there. I probably won't buy any of their baits unless they really improve on them, especially their hard baits. Is Lunker Hunt. You got to whirl those at a specific speed. If not, they blow out. Spinnerbait, same thing. You got to change out the trebles on the hard baits. They're complete garbage when you get them. I do fish things right out of the package just to see how they work, and those treble hooks on those baits don't last. I'd rather spend the money, on a little something better, like a Lucky Craft or a Spro. I don't know too much about the Walmart brand, the Ozark Trail baits. But the one that I do have thrown around, it's not the greatest, but so far I really don't have a lot of complaints with it. One of the things to keep in mind, and I'm going to pick on these guys a little bit, I do fish them quite a bit, but on the soft plastic side, Keitech, whichever you want to call it, those are great baits. They catch a lot of fish, but they have zero durability. Zero. You catch one fish on them and they're done. And they are a little bit pricier. I don't order or go buy those specifically anymore. I found some better options available. Tackle is gear is the biggest thing. Got a real old Shimano greenie here. If you know, you know. It's an old C200. A Bantam Corrado. I'm probably going to sell a few of those just to try to get a newer, updated reel. Not that they perform bad. They perform just like they did, whatever it was, 15, 20 years ago when it came out. A big thing, guys, is Abu Garcia makes a decent rod. This one's a Walmart series rod. One of the things that you're going to find when you're buying $10 rods is they tend to be a little heavier, tend to not be as well constructed. The eyes. This one's a 24-ton carbon or graphite. So far, it's done okay for me. I got that in a package deal from somebody. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not sponsored by Shimano, Daiwa, or any company in general. I buy a wide variety of rods and reels and try them out. Here's a good example of an inexpensive Walmart rod. If I didn't buy it specifically for the task that I use it for, I would never buy it for anything else. This is the Shakespeare Microlite. Big thing that right here, I don't know if you can see it that well. Right there. It's really hard to to see that, but you can kind of see it there that the cork is already starting to tear after one season. I'm not going to complain about it. Like I said, I bought it for one reason and one reason only, and that's for fishing for panfish at the spillway, where they're sitting on concrete. But I've got some older cork handle rods that I've taken down there and fished a little bit, and the cork holds up a lot better. The cork's just really cheap on that. There's not really a whole lot of sensitivity in it at all. So that's the biggest thing that you'll get when you're not buying a $20 combo from Walmart. You know, like this guy, it's seen its years. It's caught a ton of fish. It still works flawlessly. Some of the old rods that I have, I've got some old Shimano rods. You know, they're 30, 40 years old. They're a bit heavier than some of the newer rods. They don't quite have as much sensitivity as the newer rods, but they were kind of the deal back in the day. They work great. Eyes are perfect on them. You know, and that's the difference that you know when you're talking price points on that kind of stuff. A $20 rod, you know, and I'm just going to pick on this rod. I don't know what this rod costs, but we'll say it's a $40 rod at Walmart. And then you go out and buy, you know, a $150 rod. You're going to get a lot more sensitivity out of it, especially today. A lot of the new stuff, especially that Shimano's putting out, you know, and I'm not going to go get it, but we'll just use this Bantam Curado. The SLX line that they came out with, and I've got a regular SLX I use. The reason why I want to sell these Curados is I want the new SLX 70A, I think is what it's called. Anyway, it's got the new MGL3 spool in it. It's a 70 series reel. I want it to throw small top waters, small baits, and with that MGL spool, you should be able to make some pretty nice bomb cast on it. Tactical Bassin did a review on it, and they said they can spool a little bait on that. I want to try that out. But the good thing about that is, and the reason why I bring that up, it's a $149.99 reel. Last year's model, or the model that was before it was $149.99. But they're bringing so much of that high price point technology down to their lower, more budget friendly. And that's what you kind of got to look for when you're looking for gears. You're looking for more of that budget friendly stuff. I'm not saying you can't find rod and reels that are not that expensive. You know, you might be able to find these now. You know, if somebody doesn't know what they have, you might find them for $50. Most of the time, you expect to spend about $100 for that reel. I think that was $149 when it come out. This is an older Bass Pro Shop reel. This is their Tourney Special. I don't remember what this cost. I believe this reel was made by Daiwa. Some of those Bass Pro Shop reels were made by Daiwa, and you could save a little bit of money because it is Bass Pro Shop branded. Trying to think of some others that are out there. There are quite a few that are out there where they're bringing, especially with Shimano and Daiwa now, they're bringing their high-end level technology into this more budget-friendly. That SLX lineup is the prime example. Even the SLX rods, guys. If you're wanting to be budget without having to find a sale or a deal, if you pick yourself up an SLX rod and an SLX reel, you can just a regular SLX reel. You can be in a really good, sensitive, lightweight rod and reel for about $200 plus the tax. You know, you might find some sales on them. You might have reward points to get some of that stuff a little bit cheaper. Got MGL spool on that new SLXA. It's just $50 more, so for $250 you got a great combo. There is quite a bit of a difference when you jump up in that price point. I didn't realize it until I fished it. Yeah, I fished some really high-end gear, and it makes a big difference. Again, I'm not saying you can't buy a $40 rod, regular retail price rod from Walmart and catch fish. I'm not saying if you go to Walmart and buy a $20 reel, you can't catch fish. What I'm saying is that $60 combo is not going to have the longevity. I've been there, done that with a lot of that cheap gear. There's microlight rods. Like I said, I buy them just because I'm not, you know, when I used to go wading, I think I still actually have one. I had a 6 foot light rod. That way, if I dropped it, I really wasn't worried about it. I just, you know, I could take it and beat the snot out of it, and I didn't care. But man, the thing was flimsy as all can be. It was, you know, even the action was way off. You know, I said it was a light power, or actually it was, I think, a medium power rod, and it was more like an ultralight. You cast it out, and you're reeling in a jig. You could not feel nothing. And then I would pick up, you know, my buddy's $200 medium action or a light action rod, cast it out, and you can feel every little pebble along the bottom. A lot of people don't understand what the importance is on that. You know, for an everyday fisherman, there's not a lot of importance there, unless you're really trying to catch every fish that you can. Tournament fishing, you definitely got to spend, I recommend you spend a little bit of money to get a better price point reel and rod. Moving baits, it's not as important. Like this guy, it's going to be a perfect rod. I don't even know how old it is. It's a 7 foot medium action. It's going to throw a 1/4 ounce bait and up. I think I got 2 in this lineup, or 2 that are pretty similar. That'll become a moving bait. The cheaper rods, the sensitivity doesn't matter if you're throwing it on a spinner bait, top water, things of that nature. It's that bottom contact baits. So my advice to you would be, if you're power fishing, throwing spinner baits, treble hook baits, top water, bladed jigs, lipless, things of that nature, anything other than a bottom contact bait, you could sacrifice a little bit money on a rod. I'd probably still venture to spend $70 to $100 on a reel, just so you can get a reel that's going to last. You can always bump that up and get a better quality. You're not looking at, I don't look at initial cost, I look at long term. Prime example of that, you know, you get a reel like this, it's 15, 20 years old and it still works the way it did. I didn't have to keep buying a $129 or $149 reel. I don't remember what those were new, but you bought them once and you were done. Set it and forget it. You got to take them apart and clean them. You got to do regular maintenance on them, but that's it. Daiwa, same way. If you're fishing bottom contact, I'd highly recommend that you spend a little bit more money. Like I said, you can't go wrong with that SLX line. Again, I'm not sponsored by Shimano. I just know that SLX rod is a great rod, has good sensitivity. You'll pick up quite a few more bites that you were missing and that you just couldn't feel. And that's the biggest difference in it. I would say personally, the way I feel about it is every person should have one high-end setup in their lineup. And again, you gotta either find the right coupons and the right deals, put the right money back for budgeting, or like me, even though I don't want to sell them because they still work like they're brand new, sell a couple of reels so that you can buy something, sell gear to get other things. That's generally what I do. I'll sell other tackle, other gear to buy some new stuff, just so I don't break my bank. Don't ever put yourself in that situation. You know, it's never worth it. I'd much rather, if I didn't have 20 rods, 30 rods, and all I could afford was this $40 rod, I'd go and buy the lightest $40 rod I could buy, and kind of look at it, make sure it's got good eyes. You know, this has got a good double-footed eye on it. The guys are good. It does have a bait keeper. It does have that long, regular grip in the back. It's a great rod for the bunny. They do catch fish, and I'm not saying that about any price point on a rod and reel. They'll all catch fish. It's the longevity that you're looking at. Same thing with baits. You know, like this little bento bait by Lunker Hunt. I'm not gonna say it's the greatest, but this thing's outlasted the Kitex that I've fished with. You know, pick your poison there. A lot of people don't care that the Kitex really shred up because they catch a pile of fish on them. But if it was me and I wanted to catch a pile of fish, and I'm just using this one, I'd be hitting up Z-Man or any of those Elastic style baits. You could catch a pile of fish on one. I've got some little, well, they're not little, but they're like 4-inch swim baits that I put on the back of a chatterbait. I've caught a pile, and I mean a pile of fish on them. And you cannot tell that they've ever even been used. I mean, they're just phenomenal baits. I don't think I have anything right up front. I didn't really plan to pull out a bunch of stuff. That's why, excuse me guys, why I didn't do that. But it's like I think they call it the razor shad. It's a great bait. The little Ned heads, I've fished those, and I fished one little Ned head. I fished it all year long, an entire season. Never took that Ned head off, and caught a pile of fish on it. Bluegill, crappie, small bass, bigger bass, you name it. I was catching it on it, and it never ever tore up and shredded up. I eventually had to change it out because I didn't use it for several months, and it was out here in this garage, and the weather just kind of got to the bait and kind of dried it up, and you know, dust and stuff that came in it kind of dirtied up the bait and made it garbage, and I took it off and changed it. You know, and people were concerned about the price on that, but you know, these aren't. But the razor shads in a pack, you know, this is a pack of these shad fries. This is an 8-pack. I think they're $2.49. $2.49 for 8. That are gonna last. You're never gonna get through them all. You know, unless you're losing them. You're just never gonna use them all up. Like a yum bait, you're gonna catch a handful of fish and you're gonna have to throw it out. You know, I'm hoping Z-Man or I find some Elastic type baits that are gonna last in some of these little minnows. And it won't be the only one that I buy. You know, there's many reasons why you gotta buy different brands. There's different actions that come out of them, and so forth and so on. But anyway, guys, just be smart about it. If you buy stuff, make a note what it is. Go out and fish it. See how it works. Fish it out of the box. You know, if the bait runs, great. But the hooks are garbage. Change out the hooks. Change out the split rings. Try to use the same size. Same, you know, maybe one size bigger, one size smaller, whatever. Go out and see how it runs. If it runs right, great. If not, you know, you've tried. Make a mark on that, and I would never buy it again. That's why, even at $1, I could have bought 10 or 20 of these. And it's tempting to buy a handful of them for $1, but I don't know how those baits hold up. If I take these out and they don't work, I'm out $1. I'm out $5, even on 5 packs. And even if one pack is $5, I don't want to have 5 more packs that I'm never going to fish with. Just taking up space. That's one of the things that I'm trying to do, is trying to go through and consolidate and get rid of stuff that I'm not using. So anyway, guys, I hope that video kind of touches base on some of that stuff. Again, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the carpet or under the bus. You know, go out there, look around, find stuff, bargain shop, look in discontinued bins, check Facebook Marketplace, go find you an estate sale, go find whatever you can find you some baits. And again, if you're going out and you're buying stuff and it doesn't work, make that list of, you know, I'm never buying this lure again. I won't buy another Lunker Hunt hard bait, spinner bait, until I find something, until they make improvements to them to fish the way that I like to fish them. Some people go out and say, well, I bought one and it runs perfect. Great, I'm happy that it did. I've got 4 of those little Lunker Hunt square bills left. I've lost 4. all 8 of them have run like garbage. I've used all 8 of them. I've used them on 6-pound line, and I've used them on 10-pound line, 12-pound line. Used it on spinning tackle, bait casting tackle, a 5-to-1 reel, an 8-to-1 reel. Didn't matter. If I didn't find that sweet spot, they turned on their side and ran sideways. Even the lipless ran that way. The soft plastics, on the other hand, I haven't had a problem with them. So anyway, guys, again, I hope that helps you out. Go out there, spend your money wisely, and just make notes when you buy something and it's garbage. Ask questions, look, check out reviews, ask other anglers. If you're going to like Bass Pro Shop, talk to the guys there, see what they have to say, what they recommend. I know almost anymore when I go and I ask them about rod and reels, the first thing they do is they take me over and show me a Johnny Morse series rod and a Johnny Morse size reel. I even had one guy try to tell me the Bass Pro Shop reels, Blue, Daiwa, and Shimano both out. I don't see that. But that's just my opinion. That's just my experiences with it. So anyway, guys, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. Hit that notification bell to be notified when I put out a new video. As always, comment, like, share, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.